Eagles. So, we lost. And I say embarrassingly so to the 1-4 Giants, which are rivals and which no team should be taken for granted. No quarterback, no team, no game should be taken for granted. I said that last week. I'll say that every week. I don't care if we played 17 games against the Giants. You never know what's going to happen. Treat your opponents with respect and don't expect to win. Everybody was screaming, this is a get-right game, and we're going to go in there and we're going to muscle the Giants around. We're going to push them around. We're going to show them who's boss. And look what you got. Look what you got. Okay? You got a big fat loss. Even worse than the Broncos one, in my opinion. Because the Broncos won, yeah, you were up. Well, I don't know if it's worse than the Broncos. Yeah, I think it is worse than the Broncos because the Broncos are a respectable team, believe it or not. They could be 4-1. They have a really good defense, and Bo Nix, when he gets on, he's on. The Giants have a rookie who has really yet to find his stride. He doesn't look bad, but really yet to find his space within the NFL. But boy, did he put on a show tonight. He was so good that when he got hurt, you saw Dayball get upset, tell the trainers, and I'm lip reading and I'm making up stuff. I don't care if he has a concussion. Get Russell off the field and put Dart back on the field. If he has a concussion, we'll deal with that later. But I want him back on the field now. You got people holding up signs that say, Saquon who? We got Scatterboo. And listen, I'm not mad at the Giants, right? They haven't been good in a long time. They still don't really have a good record. But a win is a win, and especially over the reigning Super Bowl champs who generally beat them, I'm not mad at their fans at all. I'm mad at us. I'm mad at Kevin Patulo. I'm mad at us losing our identity and worrying about what everybody else has to say. Excuse me. You want to know something? Chris Jones, says to Jalen, you don't even have 100 yards. He did have 100 yards, but it was just 100 yards. And Jalen said, we won the game. Guess what? Over these last two games where Jalen has been slinging it, against the Broncos, 23 for 38 for 280 yards. Against the Broncos. Against the Giants, 24 for 33, 283 yards. Guess what? He got his first interception of the year. I think if I heard the stat right, you don't quote me on this, but I think I heard the stat before this game, Jalen Hurts was the only QB, the only starting QB who had not thrown a pick all year. Now that is amazing. Through 5 games, because here's game 6. Through 5 games, not thrown a single pick. He had been taking good care of the ball, and they have been winning games. Now here you come, changing up the game, throwing the ball all over the place. It's never been a question in my mind that Jalen could throw and put up numbers. It has never been a question in his mind that he could throw and put up numbers. What Jalen has consistently said is, I can do it, but do I need to do it? Our identity is run to pass. If the run is stopped and I need to pass, I can do it. But let's make the other team make that decision for us to say, hey, We're not going to let you run. You got to do something else. Not force ourselves into throws. And then the run also suffers because they're like, all right, you threw it. Now you're trying to run it a handful of times. So against the Broncos, Saquon only had 6 carries, 30 yards. Tonight, he had more. He had 12 for 58 yards. He had some good gains on a couple of those. The Eagles have lost their identity. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they are. They did at the beginning of the year. They were doing what they did last year, playing to win, doing what it takes to win, not worrying about the noise, the narratives, the he can't do this, he can't do that, you guys can't do this. The 2 games where the game plan has switched, have been our 2 losses. Yeah, you got better numbers. You got the stats. Okay, everybody. Okay, all media. Okay, first things first take and fandom in this corner and fandom in that corner. Jalen stinks. He can't throw. He doesn't have Lamar numbers. Guess what? Lamar's hurt. And Lamar's got great numbers, but his team is on life support. And the Eagles are headed there. The Eagles are headed to life support even at 4-2 if they keep this up. The Eagles are headed back to the 2023 collapse if they keep this up. And if they keep Kevin Patulo. Listen, I hadn't seen Jeffery Laurie look that miserable in a long time. He looked horrible in the booth. He looked dejected in the booth. He better have made Kevin Patulo walk home. Okay? Walk back to Philly. And then when Kevin gets back to Philly, his stuff needs to be in a plastic bag and he needs to be out on the street. Plain and simple. I don't care if he's Nick's boy. I don't care whose boy he is. I don't care how he got the job. He's not the right man for the job. Okay? What did I say in my last video? If he was good at being a QB coach or whatever he was at before, put him back there. If he thrived there, put him there. Because he ain't good here. I mean, I'm not even as upset with as I was with the Broncos. So I guess the Broncos loss was worse for me because we were up. We had control of the game. The Broncos couldn't do anything. And then we just kept throwing it. Okay, we were up 17-3, but we kept throwing it. When you're up that big in the fourth quarter, you run the ball, even if it's for very little gain, to run the clock down or make them burn timeouts and just kill them. That's how we should have won that game. This game was out of hand from the beginning. They were at 13-3 in the first quarter. Then we came back. We started to score. We could have made it respectable. When it was 27-17, they were up 10. Jalen was pushing the ball down. I think Dylan got the ball punched out. Killed that momentum. No. I'm sorry. Hurts had threw a pick and they ran it all the way back. Hurts threw a pick and they ran it all the way back. We could have made the game a 3-point game and won that game. And even though it would have been a nasty, ugly win against the Giants, in my opinion, it would have been a win. or at least a closer game. Let me say that. We might not have won. I don't know what the Cards would have held for the rest of the game, how the momentum would have went. Let's say it could have been a closer game because we would have more points. I mean, we ended up with 17 instead of what could have been 23 or 23. Am I doing my math right? 24. I'm sorry. I can't do my math right. 24. Because it's been 24 to 27. Then we got some more momentum, and then Dylan got the ball knocked out, and it was on the ground. And, at first, I was like, that ball is, he's down. But replay, he was not down. That pass interference on Ringo, I was like, wait a minute. That didn't look like pass interference to me, but replay, pass interference. I consider myself to be fair. The jump offsides, the false start, we had on one of our brotherly shoves that we did 4 in a row. And I was cracking up at that. I was like, 4 in a row? Are you serious? Everybody at the spot was like, yeah, keep going, keep going. But one of those was not clean by any stretch of the imagination. Then they slow-mode the rest of them, and the rest of them were clean. So 3 of the 4 were clean. And it's what I do love about the play, and it's what I do love about the dominance of the play and how we run it, that when it's clean and when it's done right, that the other team can't do a thing about it when it's the Eagles. And they had a player who was down, and they had players that were gassed and they were exhausted. And you would think that they had just run all over the field, right? You would think it had been somebody who had just ran a 40-yard dash or something, how gassed they looked. But it's demoralizing for you to line up against the Eagles and know it's coming, and they do it fairly. They don't jump off sides or false start it, and they get that momentum and they get the score. To me, that was brilliant, minus that one that was clearly false start. That was brilliant. What was I going to say? Patulo's got to go. I know they had a 5-hour, 3-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, whatever player meeting, but it's not the players. The players are still skilled. The players are still capable. I actually don't know what happened to the defense today. The defense today actually was bad as the offense today. Now, granted, injuries. Everybody has to deal with injuries. So, what can you do there? Our guys are beat up. They're veterans. They're tired. Their bodies are aching. They've been around for a long time, so I get it. Minus Carter. Carter's not really a vet like that. But missing important pieces like Quinyon Mitchell and Carter on the line, or Dickerson and stuff like that are your mainstays that, the other guys feed off of, can create a situation like tonight where the defense just doesn't have those guys that create the synergy, That's like the weak link in the chain, and the one weak link in the chain, and the whole chain pulls apart, And Keeley, I had honest hopes for him, but no. I see major moves coming, or a disaster ahead, where this is another fallback year, and then we may have to rebuild and come back the following year and go back and win it, like the collapse and then the Super Bowl. So you had the Super Bowl run, questionable holding call, lose the Super Bowl, the epic collapse, one of the most amazing Eagles seasons I've ever had in my life and will still cherish until the day God calls me home of last year. One of the greatest seasons and performances by our guys. And then you have this. Now this is absolutely fixable at 4-2, where you still have one of the best records. And if the right changes are made to the coaching staff and everything, and people just take a breath. Right now we have a 10-day stretch where everybody can relax and guys cannot be clawing at each other. Guys cannot be pointing fingers, and guys cannot be, down and out. It's these games happened. They're over. On to the next game. Oddly enough, this is the same record that we had last year, 4-2 at this time at Game 6. Remember that. Now, at that time, we were on an uptick. So we were 2-2 and we didn't look that great. And then from that, we rattled off all those wins and then just had the Smitty drop that lost us the game against Commanders. When Jalen was hurt, Pickett was in. We got Patulo running Saquon up the middle with no holes. Over and over and over again. We got Jalen getting himself into a predictable situation with the pick where the guy jumped a route on Dotson, on Jahan. We had what I thought Smitty could have dove on, but everybody else told me, no, I'm dreaming. It was an overthrow, and I thought that it looked like to me on the replay that it was by his fingertips. So I'm thinking if it's by your fingertips, if you dive and give yourself that extra thrust, you don't get to run it in for a touchdown like last week with AJ, where had he caught it, he could have just ran it in. You end up being down by contact when you catch the ball, but it looked like a dive would have got that. But that was a big play. But Jalen can do whatever. You see these numbers. He can do anything these other guys do. But he's also doing what these other guys do. He's also doing what these other guys do and lose. Tongue twister. He's losing. And he doesn't want to do that. I don't want to do that as a fan. The team doesn't want to do that. As an organization, they don't want to do that. Do we want to have A.J. Brown with 80 yards, 100 yards, 500 yards in a game and lose? So today he had 6 catches, 80 yards, 13 a catch, which is good average. Last week he had 5 for 43. Is that what we want? The Chase being like everybody else? We're Philly. We're not everybody else. No one likes us. We don't care. That's our mantra. So who cares if Hurts isn't slinging it? He only needs to sling it to save us or to get us out of a pinch. Or if the game is just out of control, then turn it on, or whatever. Or just have a balance. Just have a balance. Kellen Moore had a balance. Now, granted, I made this point last week. Our O-line is letting a lot of things through that they don't normally let through. They're letting the defense get to Jalen. They're letting the defense get to Saquon. They're not making the holes that they made for Saquon. Remember, last year, Saquon had so many yards before first contact, and that was because the holes that they were creating for him. It's not to say that he can't produce. He produced last week when he had his 6 touches, and he produced this week with some really nice runs. But there has to be opportunity for those. Phillies got eliminated. I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. I'm not in the mood to talk about it today. But I will make a quick video about the Phillies tomorrow. They lost. The Flyers lost. And the Eagles lost. You know what it reminded me of? Eerily. The Super Bowl run where we lost to Pat. The Phillies were in the World Series. They lost it. The Union was in the MLS Cup. They lost it. The Eagles were in the Super Bowl. They lost it. Tonight, Phillies eliminated from playoffs. Flyers lost. And then the Eagles lost. And you know they're going to be on our heads tomorrow. So, you know what I did before I got on here? I called the mayor. I called the Philadelphia mayor. I called the Pennsylvania governor, and I said, listen, ladies, tomorrow's a holiday, okay? We just have an extended holiday. We got one on Monday, and for Pennsylvania, and especially Philadelphia, we got one again tomorrow. 5-day weekend for everybody in Pennsylvania, because we cannot go to work and we cannot function as a city with our teams performing like this. This is a form of entertainment. We get it. It's not entertaining. It's not entertaining to watch your team of superstars get beat like this. Your Jalen Hurts, who I still believe, without a shadow of a doubt, is the second best quarterback in the league right now. Your Saquon Barkley, your Dallas Goddards, your up-and-coming stars like A.J. Dillon, your A.J. Browns, your Devonta Smiths, your Dotson is great, and he's had flashes in the paint. He's been good. He is a good player. Your Reed Blankenships, who've been around for a long time. Your Jahad Campbell, who looks great. Your Makuba, who looks great. Your Zach Bonds. Your Jordan Davises. Your to just be able to rattle off all these names of people that you know can make plays and support your team, and Lane Johnsons and, everybody. And then lose to the Giants 34-17. And lose your lead to the Broncos, who you held in check 21-17. Damn, 17 in both games. I just realized that. What did we do in the previous games? Oh, 24 against the Cowboys. 20 against the Chiefs. 33 against the Rams. 31 against the Buccaneers. And you could argue that at least Rams, Chiefs, Bucks, about the Cowgirls, are better than Broncos, Giants. You could argue that. You can make an argument for that. Yet you put up less points and lose to those two teams. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous and unacceptable. I want Patulo fired, okay? Or demoted. I want you to bring somebody else in. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you had to go get Al Pacino's 80-year-old self and make him pretend he's back on any given Sunday and put him in. I don't care. Do something, Jeff. Do something, Howie. Do something, Nick Sirianni. You're the coaches. You have these amazing players who just won you a Super Bowl against a team that was going for a three-peat, who's supposed to be, if not one of the best teams to ever exist, behind the Patriots, and walk them down in the Super Bowl. Now, granted, we're not the exact same team, but we didn't lose so many pieces that we should have devolved into this, except for our OC. Now, Vic Fangio, I believe Vic Fangio probably has the defense running behind the bus back to Philly, saying that he expects better out of them. He probably got them boys chained to the back of the bus, and they better keep up with it or get drugged down 95. I bet Vic got in their tail. Because that's the kind of coach he seems like to me. Like an old salt that's like, listen, you can do better, you will do better, or you gonna eat crap. Where this OC seems like the guy was like, yeah, I mean, we lost. I'll look at film and I'll get better. No, sir. No, sir. You won't get better. At least I don't project that you will get better. I can't speak into existence what you will or won't be. I'm not the Lord. But from my eyes, I don't see it. Now, you could prove me wrong. Or you can have this Eagles team go through another down year, and then we get rid of your tail, and then we bring in somebody else, and then Jalen will have another new OC that he's got to get with and figure out. Pathetic. I can't even remember the other thing I wanted to say. Let me just see if I can look at these stats real quick and figure it out. Stats. We talking about stats? Stats? We talking about stats? 283 yards? Ooh. 280 yards? Ooh. What did Jalen have in the Cowboys game? 188 yards. Guess what? We won that one, right? What did he have in the Chiefs game? 101 yards. Ooh, we won that one, right? What did he have in the Rams game? Oh, he had 226. Oh yeah, I forgot because he turned on the lights in the fourth. Yeah. And got himself up there, but he didn't have that to begin with. This is where he took over. He was like, forget what you talking about over here on the sideline. Come on, boys, let's get together and win this. Man, I don't want to keep consuming this garbage. I don't know how other teams do it. They'll be my team for life, forever. They'll be 0-17. They'll be my team, and people will be like, oh, Eagles are trash. They are. They're still my team. Still going to wear my hats. Still going to wear my clothes. Still going to be proud to be an Eagles fan. Can't win them all. Whatever. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds.